Stand. Don't sit. Don't lean. 48 hours. The American sergeant says it like he's ordering coffee. May 8, 1945. A French POW camp near Reims. 31 German women auxiliaries line up in the courtyard. The war ended yesterday. This is day one of whatever comes next. But the sergeant isn't holding a whip. He's holding a clipboard. And behind him, medics are setting up tables with medical supplies. Ingrid's legs already ache. She's 23, from Hamburg, was a radio operator for the Luftwaffe. Never killed anyone. Never hurt anyone. But here she stands with 30 other women, some nurses, some clerks, some she doesn't know. The concrete is cold through her boots. 38 degrees Fahrenheit. May in France feels like winter. Sie werden uns brechen, wie wir sie gebrochen haben. They'll break us like we broke them. Margaret whispers it. She's 34, the oldest. She's heard about standing torture, how the Japanese did it, how the Gestapo did it. After 6 hours, your legs swell. After 12, you hallucinate. After 24, organs start failing. But why are the medics setting up tables? Why are there water barrels every 10 feet? Why does that corporal have a camera? The searchlights click on even though it's noon, bright as surgical lamps. Every woman squints. Their shadows pool at their feet like spilled ink. The Americans want them visible, want them seen. But by whom? Quick question. What year are you watching this? Drop it in the comments. I want to know if this story still matters decades from now. 2 hours pass. Ingrid shifts weight from left foot to right. The woman next to her, Anna, 19, from Berlin, is already swaying. The Americans watch but don't strike. Don't yell. Just write things on clipboards. The courtyard smells like diesel from the trucks and something else. Coffee. The Americans are brewing coffee 10 feet from where German women stand in punishment. The contrast is deliberate. Cruel. Or is it? Sergeant Williams, the one who gave the order, isn't sitting either. He's standing at the courtyard's edge. No chair, no leaning. He's been standing as long as they have. Strange behavior for someone administering torture. A clock tower chimes. 6 hours down, 42 to go. Hour 6, the first woman collapses. What happens next changes everything. Anna falls forward like a cut tree. But before she hits concrete, 2 American medics catch her. They were waiting, watching, ready, like they expected this at exactly the 6-hour mark. They don't drag her away, don't leave her where she fell. They carry her to a chair that was already positioned nearby. Pour water on her lips, check her pulse, wave ammonia salts under her nose. Warum helfen Sie ihr? Why are they helping her? The question ripples through the line. This isn't how torture works. When you collapse during torture, they beat you until you stand again. Or they leave you there as an example. They don't give you medical attention. The ammonia's sharp smell cuts through the diesel fumes. Anna's eyes flutter open. The medic, Private Johnson from Iowa, speaks soft English she doesn't understand. But his tone is universal. Concern, not mockery. Standing torture survival rate without water, 6 hours average before first collapse. With water, 12. These women have had water every 30 minutes. The Americans insist on it, force them to drink even when they refuse. Anna tries to stand again, to return to the line. The medics stop her, give her 15 minutes in the chair. Sergeant Williams nods approval from across the courtyard. He's still standing too, sweat stains spreading across his uniform despite the cool air. The other women watch this drama unfold. Their propaganda-trained minds can't process it. Americans are supposed to be like Soviets, brutal, vengeful, especially to women, especially to Germans. But these Americans are documenting everything with medical precision. Camera shutters click, not to capture suffering for mockery, but like evidence gathering. Clinical, purposeful. Every collapse, every medical intervention, every minute recorded in logs. Ingrid's knees buckle slightly. She locks them, refuses to fall. But she notices something. The medic tables have 31 folders, one for each woman. Names already written. Medical histories partially filled out. This was planned, orchestrated. But why? The sun moves across the sky. Shadows shift. The standing women sway like wheat in wind. Another woman stumbles, catches herself. The medics step forward, ready, always ready. Williams calls out something in English. A corporal translates. This is not punishment. This is processing. Processing for what? The sergeant explains. This isn't torture. It's processing for war crimes documentation. Witnesses are coming. 1,200 survivors from the camps. You stand until they've all had a chance to identify you. The translator delivers these words like dropping bombs. 1,200. Survivors. Camps. The words hang in the air heavier than the searchlight beams. Wir sind keine KZ-Wärterinnen. We're not concentration camp guards. Ingrid shouts it. She was radio operator, Luftwaffe, never set foot in a camp. But the Americans don't care about protests. They have lists, reports, accusations. 31 women who might be guards, might be killers, might be the ones survivors dream about. 72-hour window. That's how long they have to transport survivors from Bergen-Belsen, Dachau, Buchenwald. Those healthy enough to travel, strong enough to look at faces without collapsing, brave enough to point and say, her. The cameras aren't for humiliation. They're for documentation. Every angle, every face, every identifying mark. When survivors arrive, exhausted from travel, traumatized from memory, they need clear views. No shadows, no hiding. Standing ensures availability. Can't claim illness, can't hide in barracks, can't disappear into latrine for hours. When survivors come, the accused must be there, visible, accountable. But why 48 hours specifically? Why not 24? Why not 72? Sergeant Williams checks his watch, drinks water in full view of them, then pours it out, stands another hour dry, leading by example or mockery. Hard to tell. The pencils scratching on paper sound like insects, every detail recorded. Hour 7, subject 12 swaying but stable, subject 23 showing signs of distress, subject 31 remains steady. Clinical, detached, professional. 3 women were at camps. Ingrid knows this. Whispered conversations in barracks, hushed admissions. But 28 were not. 28 are standing for crimes they didn't commit, waiting for accusations that shouldn't come. Camera shutters continue their mechanical rhythm. Click, advance, building a visual database before computers exist. Each woman's face from north, south, east, west. Morning light, afternoon light, evening light. No angle missed. The first transport arrives tomorrow. Bergen-Belsen survivors. The ones who can still walk, still speak, still remember faces through starvation's haze. 1 woman faints. Medics respond. Chair, water, salts. 15 minutes. Back to standing. The rhythm establishes itself. Brutal but supervised. Harsh but medical. Hour 12. The Americans do something nobody expects. They bring mattresses. 2 army trucks rumble into the courtyard. Soldiers jump out, start unloading canvas mattresses, 31 of them, 1 for each standing woman. The Germans watch in confusion as Americans arrange them in neat rows behind the standing line. 10 minutes horizontal every hour. Williams announces through the translator. Rotation starts now. Das ist nicht die Folter, die wir erwartet haben. This isn't the torture we expected. First group lies down. The relief is instant, visceral. Ingrid feels her swollen feet throb as blood flows properly. The canvas is rough but feels like silk after 12 hours of concrete. She can hear hearts beating, her own, others, maybe even the guards. 50 minutes standing, 10 minutes rest. Medical supervision 24 hours. 0 deaths. That's the goal written on William's clipboard. She can see it when he walks past. 0 deaths, underlined 3 times. The medics check each woman during rest periods. Pulse rates, swelling measurements, dehydration levels. They force-feed salt tablets. Make them drink whether thirsty or not. This isn't torture, it's endurance management. Williams still refuses a mattress, refuses to sit. When his men bring him a chair, he kicks it away. The German women notice. Whatever they're enduring, he's enduring too. Not from same motivation, but same suffering. Night falls. The searchlights become necessary. Moths swirl in the beams like snow. The temperature drops to 32 degrees. The Americans distribute blankets. 1 per woman, wool, U.S. Army issue, scratchy but warm. Some women sleep during their 10 minutes, instant unconsciousness. Others can't, too afraid, too angry, too confused. This treatment exists in no manual, no propaganda, no expectation. A woman named Gertrude, 25, from Munich, starts crying during her rest period, not from pain, from confusion. If they wanted to torture us, why prevent suffering? If they wanted us dead, why keep us alive? The medics document everything: tears, collapse times, recovery rates, like scientists studying lab rats. But lab rats don't get mattresses, don't get blankets, don't get medical care. Hour 18, 6 more collapses, all managed, all recovered. The rhythm continues. Stand, rest, stand, rest. The human body adapts to anything with proper intervals. Williams finally accepts water, drinks it slowly. His legs shake but don't buckle. Leading by example, definitely. But example of what? Hour 24. The first concentration camp survivors arrive. They arrive in American medical buses, helped down by nurses. Some walk, some are carried. All are skeletal. 75 pounds average weight. Auschwitz-Birkenau, Bergen-Belsen, Dachau. The camp's names are tattooed on their souls deeper than numbers on their arms. The survivors move slowly down the line, studying faces, searching memories, looking for the ones who beat them, starved them, killed their families. Some collapse just from walking. Medics help them up, give them chairs, bring the chairs down the line. Ich kenne diese Gesichter. I know these faces, but they don't. Not these faces. These are radio operators, nurses, clerks. But trauma doesn't distinguish. In nightmares, all German women in uniform look the same. All become the one who held the club. 6 positive identifications in the first hour. 3 are correct, 3 are mistakes. The Americans know this. They have service records. But they let survivors point. Let them speak. Let them accuse. Then verify quietly, professionally, without humiliating the accuser. One survivor, Rachel from Poland, walks the entire line 3 times, searching, hunting. She stops at Ingrid, stares. Ingrid stares back. 2 women, same age, different sides of hell. Rachel moves on, no recognition, just shared humanity. The smell changes. Disinfectant from the medical buses mixes with courtyard diesel. The survivors smell like hospitals, like salvation, like death cheated but not forgotten. Their breathing is labored. Tuberculosis, pneumonia, diseases that will kill many within months despite liberation. Why 48 hours? Because survivor transports come in waves. from different camps, different countries, different medical facilities. 48 hours ensures all who can travel will arrive, will have their chance, will see justice's possibility. A survivor points at a woman named Elsa, screams, collapses. Else was a guard. Brandenburg concentration camp, women's section. The accusation is correct. The Americans already knew, were waiting for confirmation. But most accusations are wrong. Traumatized minds, starvation hallucinations, mistaken identity. The Americans document everything but arrest only with verification, only with proof, only with multiple confirmations. Williams still stands. Hour 24 of his own ordeal. He watches survivors identify their tormentors, watches German women protest innocence, watches humanity's worst meeting, humanity's process of justice. Another transport arrives, more survivors, more accusations, more mistakes, more confirmations. The line of standing women sways but holds. One survivor points at Ingrid and screams, "Murderin! Murderer! She killed my sister!" The survivor, Sarah from Łódź, points at Ingrid, shaking, certain. The Americans move fast, surround Ingrid, ready to separate her from the line, ready to arrest. But Williams raises his hand. Wait. Meine Schwester ist tot. My sister is dead. Ingrid says it quietly. The translator relays. Williams checks his files. Ingrid Hoffmann, radio operator, Hamburg. Twin sister, Ilse Hoffmann, SS Aufseherin, Bergen-Belsen. Killed in bombing raid, Hamburg, July 1943. Twins, identical faces, different choices, different uniforms, different fates. One died in Allied bombing. One stands accused of her sister's crimes. The paperwork tells the story. Photos in the file. Same face twice. Different insignia. Sarah looks again, closer. The Americans show her both photos. Ingrid in Luftwaffe auxiliary uniform. Ilse in SS uniform. Sarah's hands shake. Memory and trauma blur. Which face held the club? Which voice gave the orders? 23% misidentification rate. The Americans have been tracking. Siblings confused for each other. Similar faces triggering wrong memories. Trauma doesn't preserve accuracy. It preserves pain. 3 hours of verification. Telegraph to Hamburg. Records pulled. Death certificate confirmed. Ilse Hoffmann, SS Aufseherin, killed July 25, 1943. Operation Gomorrah. Ingrid Hoffmann, radio operator, stationed France, never at camps. Sarah collapses, not from recognition, but from its absence. The face she needed to accuse is already dead. Justice already denied by Allied bombs. She weeps. Ingrid weeps. Two women crying for different reasons over the same ghost. Williams documents everything, the mistake, the verification, the cleared accusation. Ingrid returns to standing, legs shaking from more than exhaustion now, shaking from the weight of her sister's crimes, from survivors' pain, from war's confusion. But where was Ilse really? Dead in Hamburg, or disappeared into chaos? Records can lie, deaths can be faked, identities switched. The Americans know this. Keep investigating, keep verifying. The paper rustles as Williams writes. Pencil scratching, building cases, destroying others. Justice requires patience, accuracy, verification, not just accusation. More survivors arrive, more faces to study, more memories to search. The standing continues. Hour 30, 31 women, dozens of survivors, 3 confirmed guards identified, 28 still standing for crimes they didn't commit. Hour 36, exhaustion breaks someone unexpected, the American sergeant. Williams hits the ground hard, no warning, no sway, just drops like his strings were cut. 36 hours of standing, no rest, no mattress during rotations. Leading by example became example of collapse. The medics rush to him, pulse 140, severe dehydration. He's lost 12 pounds in 36 hours, sweat loss, refusing food, refusing comfort. His orders to himself: don't let prisoners suffer alone, share their ordeal, understand their pain. Leidet mit uns? He suffers with us? The German women can't comprehend it. American sergeant, victor, conqueror, choosing to suffer alongside the defeated, not from sadism, not from duty, from something else, something that doesn't translate. Williams is 24, from Oklahoma, enlisted at 17, fought through France, Belgium, Germany, seen camps, seen bodies, seen enough to know suffering isn't exclusive to any uniform. His hands tremble as medics try to give him water. He pushes them away, tries to stand, falls again. The German women watch their tormentor become human, watch strength become weakness, watch authority become vulnerability. Everything flips, power dynamics shatter. His uniform is soaked through, salt crystals dried on collar, boots waterlogged from sweat. He refused every comfort he could have claimed, every privilege rank provided, stood because they stood, suffered because they suffered. Get him a chair, the lieutenant orders. No chair, Williams gasps, not until they get chairs. But they don't want him to suffer. These German women who expected torture, who expected vengeance, who expected American brutality, they want him to rest, to drink, to stop this self-imposed martyrdom. The medics check vitals, force water down his throat. His body is shutting down, kidneys struggling, heart racing. The standing torture he ordered has tortured him equally, maybe more. They got mattresses. He refused them. Ingrid watches this American sergeant shake on the ground, watches him refuse help, watches him try to stand and fail, watches humanity stripped of nationality, of uniform, of victory versus defeat. A photographer captures it. Williams on ground, German women standing above. Role reversal nobody expected, power dynamics nobody trained for. Humanity in its strangest form. The lieutenant takes command, orders Williams to medical tent. Williams refuses, tries to crawl back to standing position. The German women see something they never expected: American suffering by choice. The German women do something that stuns everyone watching. Ingrid steps forward first, then Margaret, then Anna. One by one, 31 German women break their line. They form a circle around Williams. Link arms, create human walls, protecting him from the sun, from the wind, from the shame of collapse. They lift him, together, enemies holding enemy, prisoners supporting guard, women who expected torture now preventing suffering. Williams tries to protest but has no strength. They hold him upright in their circle, share their body heat, share their strength, share their humanity. Mensch bleibt Mensch. Human remains human. 14 minutes they hold him. The photographer captures it. This image will become iconic. 31 German women in worn uniforms, one American sergeant, circle of linked arms, shared exhaustion, shared endurance, shared something beyond war. The medics try to intervene. The women won't let them, not yet. They're giving Williams what he gave them: dignity in suffering, recognition in pain, humanity in the inhuman situation. They hold him until his legs steady, until he can stand alone. Other Americans watch stunned, their sergeant held by enemy women, protected by prisoners, supported by the defeated. Everything they thought about Germans, about enemies, about war, challenged in one circle. Williams' breathing steadies. His legs find strength. The women feel it. Slowly release. Step back. Reform their line. Return to standing. But something has changed. Permanently. Irrevocably. The lieutenant wants to end this. 36 hours is enough. Identifications are mostly complete. But Williams, barely standing, shakes his head. 12 more hours. We finish what we started. The women nod. They'll stand. He'll stand. Together, separately. Apart together. The logic of war has broken, replaced by something else. Where is Ingrid's sister really? The question haunts. Ilse supposedly died in Hamburg. Operation Gomorrah, July 1943. 742 aircraft, 2,700 tons of bombs, 40,000 dead. But bodies burned beyond recognition, records destroyed, identity uncertain. The standing continues. Hour 37, 38. Legs beyond pain now, into numbness, into acceptance, into strange meditation. Williams stands with them, swaying but vertical, leading by example still. More survivors arrive for final identifications. See the Circle incident. See German women who protected American sergeant. See humanity where they expected monsters. Some reconsider their identifications. Maybe trauma lies, maybe memory fails. Hour 48 arrives with unexpected news. 3 confirmed, 28 cleared. You're free to go. The translator delivers these words as the 48th hour ends. 3 women were guards. Positive identification, multiple witnesses, documentary evidence. They'll face trials. The rest, radio operators, nurses, clerks, receive official clearance papers. Colonel Harrison arrives, sees his sergeant barely standing, sees German women still in formation, sees what 48 hours created. He wasn't expecting this, wasn't expecting shared suffering, wasn't expecting humanity. Sie haben uns wie Menschen behandelt. They treated us like humans. Margaret says it to the translator, but she means more, means the medical care, the mattresses, the sergeant who stood with them, the recognition of suffering regardless of uniform, the justice that required proof, not just accusation. 90% false accusation rate. The numbers shock everyone. Trauma created phantoms. Saw guards where clerks stood. Saw killers where nurses worked. Saw evil where only proximity to evil existed. The colonel orders hot food brought. Real food. Not prisoner rations. Beef stew, fresh bread, coffee. The 28 cleared women eat their first hot meal since capture. Taste freedom. Taste survival. Taste vindication. Medical exams for everyone. Treat the swelling. Treat the exhaustion. Treat the trauma. Williams gets intravenous fluids. Refuses evacuation. Stays to see this through. To witness the end of what he started. Clean clothes distributed. Civilian clothes for those cleared. No more uniforms. No more auxiliary service. No more war. Just 28 women about to restart lives interrupted by history. The 3 confirmed guards are separated. Quietly, professionally, no brutality, no vengeance, just process, justice, law, everything the camps never had, everything their victims never received. The irony isn't lost on anyone. Safe passage papers issued, train tickets to American occupation zones, away from French revenge, away from Soviet brutality, under American protection until they reach home, whatever home means now. Williams shakes each cleared woman's hand. 28 handshakes. His hand trembles. Their hands tremble. Enemy shaking enemy's hand. Victor and defeated, but also human and human, survivor and survivor. Steam rises from the soup bowls, the smell of normalcy, of peace, of ending. The photographer captures final images. Women eating, sergeant standing, colonel watching, history being made in small gestures. The cleared women board trucks, head for trains, head for home, Head for whatever comes after surviving accusation. 40 years later, an American visitor knocks on Ingrid's door. Munich, 1985. Ingrid opens her door. A gray-haired man stands there, American accent attempting German. "Frau Hoffmann, my name is James Williams. You held me up once." 40 years collapse instantly. She sees him, young sergeant, collapsing, the circle, the shared suffering, the 48 hours that defined something indefinable. He's 64 now, retired, 3 children, 9 grandchildren, but his eyes remember everything. "Wir waren nie wirklich Feinde." We were never really enemies. She says it in English learned over decades. He nods. They were something else. Humans caught in history, suffering shared across uniform lines, standing together separately, falling together alone. He's traveled 500 miles, tracked down 14 of the 28 cleared women, all still alive. All, remember, all carry that 48 hours like a photograph in their souls. The time enemies became witnesses to shared humanity. Coffee brews in Ingrid's kitchen. The smell fills comfortable silence. They sit at a table that didn't exist in 1945, in a country rebuilt from rubble, in a peace bought with millions of lives. 2 old people who once stood through torture that wasn't torture. "Why did you stand with us?" she finally asks. "Because suffering alone is torture. Suffering together is survival." He pulls out a photograph. The circle, 31 women holding him up. The image made it into history books, symbol of something. Reconciliation, humanity. Proof that enemies are manufactured, but humans are inherent. Ingrid has her own photo. Williams standing, hour 36, just before collapse. She kept it. Reminder that even conquerors choose to suffer, that power can be surrendered, that strength can be shared. They talk about the others. Margaret died in 1979. Anna lives in Hamburg. Else, one of the 3 guards, served 5 years. Reformed. Became a nurse. Spent 30 years caring for Holocaust survivors. Redemption's strange paths. Williams brings out a package. Inside, the clearance papers he signed, the medical records from those 48 hours, the documentation of shared suffering. He's returning them. Closing circles. Ending what ended 40 years ago but never ended. "We stood for 48 hours, he says, "but we've been standing together ever since." They shake hands. Same tremor as 40 years ago. Different reason. Age now, not exhaustion. Time's torture, not wars. But the grip is firm, the connection real. Standing order meant for identification became test of shared humanity.